This is a response video from the Gulf Impact videos that I keep watching. I'd first like to say thank you for keeping us informed. You're doing a really good job. I'm really surprised that they allow you to film. Clearly, some of these insane people aren't so bad after all if they allow you to film and let us see how corrupt and evil they are. They've tried to stop the press, but clearly they're not stopping you. So there might be a little smidgen in there that says that they're not all that bad. So I thought I'd make a video and not only post this video, but send it to the governor down there so he can see what me, the Canadian, thinks of what's going on down there. And to the governor, I appreciate you letting that woman stand up. I appreciate you letting her have her voice to let you know that the fishermen are not being represented. But your kind actions to let somebody talk and your kind actions to let somebody videotape you, do you know what you look like? I know for a fact that I wouldn't eat one fish out of there. If I see any fish in any Canadian stores here, I would tell everybody don't eat it. It's full of poison. You are using really screwed up math to think that there's, 100% of the oil that came out and you only grab 25% of it. There's oil someplace. And they've dispersed it so it's like more on a quantum level, so it's going to be really, really hard for you to see. And you don't have any of the scientists that have the technology to be able to see the poison you put in all of your fish. So, as long as you're using stupidity to say that the oil isn't there anymore, if you're falling for, oh, Bush, as long as you have a committee that's got the word Bush in there, and what did Bush do? He wants to kill everybody. Like, let's look at the fruit of his wisdom and how many wars and how, what he did to your economy and the destruction that that guy did. Anything that's got Bush's name attached to it, I would dismantle whatever group and start forming another group. Um, Scientists, yeah, you know what? If you pay a scientist to say there is no oil, there is no oil, a scientist will come up with that. You think that we're that stupid? Do you think anybody that's going to see that a whole pile of fish that are dead? I mean, first of all, as soon as you take away any press that can't film anything, we know you got something to hide. So it's, what are you hiding? And I'll come up with the biggest, baddest story that I possibly can. I'll know that, as long as they're not filming, I know that there is enormous amount of fish that are dead that you don't want filmed. I know that there's enormous amount of poison out there that you don't want nobody to see. I will let my imagination go friggin' wild when you start controlling the press. And I mean, I don't want to see the press just from CNN and the guys that you pay to report the news. I want to see the little guy. I want to see everybody being able to have access to the truth and to report the truth. I want to see a varied stories. I want to see, different opinions, not just everybody's given the same opinion, because when the same opinion is always being told, I know they're being paid to tell whatever story you want the public to hear. But when I start to see a little bit of conflict, and then it's like, okay, what's the real story? When I start to see fishermen that aren't in it for the money and they are concerned about everybody else's health, I'm going to take their word off of the guy that, has just caught $100,000 worth of fish and wants to sell it so that he can make his friggin' profit, and uses the same words, I don't really care what happens in 20 years. So that means you want me to eat the fish and die a slow death in 20 years from cancer that you are creating. So there's a lot of little telltale signs that tell me that that there's a lot of bad problems there. You're using bad science. You're using bad media. you're making yourselves look really, really bad. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, which means if I see any fish that's being sold anywhere here in Canada, you better believe I'm telling everybody, hey, are you sure that didn't come from the Gulf? You know, are you sure that's not going to kill you? I mean, a lot of people are dead from the Alaska oil spill, and now we've got more oil and poison toxins to disperse it. And you think that that fish is going to be safe? And if you don't think that our governments, that want to make an economic system flow, will sell you poison as long as the big guys make their money, I mean, we're not getting that stupid anymore. So I know that you're probably going to change labels and say, oh, this is grown in Canada. Like, we know the games that government plays. We know the games that the economic system play. And, like, it's not about close your eyes, there is no evil. It's a matter, you better start facing some of the evil because we're not that stupid anymore. And if it means that we scare everybody off of fish, so nobody fishes, nobody will eat fish, we destroy the whole friggin' fishing industry just to make sure that people are safe, well, then maybe we'll be cleaning up our oceans because nobody's going to have it. You can't sell people fish because nobody will want it. That'll give the fish a chance to be able to, clean themselves up, or you might be able to make a little bit more income cleaning that shit. You've got a bigger problem now because not only was that oil able to be accessible from the top, now you have to go, how deep? How deep is that ocean now? And you got to go to the ground. You got to go to, the very, very bottom of that ocean floor now and clean that ocean floor up. And until you do that, we know there's poison there. That means opportunity. Yes, the big corporations caused a lot of problems, but now in this time of change, it's about transforming. It's transforming that poison into a cleaner Gulf. You had a lot of pollution in there to begin with, but now is the time to, yes, we're going to have to change the way you make your living down there. It's not going to have to be about oil. Like, your oil industry is going to be forcing clean energy, and it's like, you guys, you big corporate world that doesn't want free energy, there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. You may think you're powerful, but there's a lot of groups that are going to do it in ways that you cannot stop. We will be driving our cars and not needing any oil. And it's not going to be done with copyrights or patents because we happen to know that you stop doing it that way. It's going to be done secretly. It's going to be done behind your doors. We're going to infect free energy like a friggin' disease so that you cannot stop it. And it's going to come at you very small. You're not even going to know it's there. And then poof, we've taken over and you won't even know it hit you. So your oil industry is now going to be crushed because we see how your CEOs in your oil industries, your government systems, your politicians, you're all friggin' corrupt and don't know how to make good decisions by, the careers that you make within your oil industry. So you're cutting your own hand off because we don't trust you no more. You've made too many mistakes and we don't trust you anymore. So now we're taking things into our own hands and we're going to start infecting the cure. It may start small, but it's going to be infecting the cure on a global basis, done behind your back so you can't stop it, and poof, it will explode. So I suggest anybody that's in the oil industry start looking for other opportunities. And it's all going to be about transformation. Every single poison that's in there, you better start finding your opportunity and how to clean it up. That Gulf all needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot of opportunity for at least 20 years for anybody that wants to make a good income by cleaning up all that toxic waste. And then all our farmland and these Monsanto seeds, guess what? We're taking over that as well. And there's lots of opportunity overcoming that big evil force, and we need our farms back, and that's going to be done. So there's a lot of opportunity. Anybody that needs to find a new income other than oil and fishing right now, those are some areas. Clean the friggin' air, clean the soil, and you know what? It's health. Y'all are complaining about a healthcare system, but the only healthcare system that you're bitching about is some healthcare giving you a pill so you can ignore the problems. There's a better healthcare system out there, and anybody that's down in the Gulf, you're going to be, getting cancer. You might want to find out a cure of cancer without using invasive medical systems that are only going to kill you anyways. If you want to live, if you want to transform the toxic waste that's inside you, there is a new healthcare system, and that also is being introduced, and it's being done, under the closed doors. But if you want, you need to start asking some questions. Because right now, Governor, I don't trust you worth shit. I don't trust your government worth shit. And it's like, you think that in elections you're going to give us a couple of bad guys to choose from? It ain't even going to be done that way. We're going to be solving these problems from the bottom up. We are the ones that are taking control. And yeah, this is going a little global. You want a new world order. Well, guess what? This new world order is not going to be controlled by the elites, by your government systems. It's going to be a new world order by human beings connecting together. From every friggin' country, we're all joining together. You might want to close down the internet, because that's how we're building. And we're getting strong. And we formed other connections outside of the internet system that you can't stop this now. This is too friggin' powerful. You might want to stomp down any form of economics, because that's how we're going to do it too. We're going to be advertising. We're going to be using all of your freaking brainwashing and your marketing tools. You won't even know a good product when it hits you, because it's going to look as evil as yours is, but we're going to all be connected to know which product is a good one and which one isn't. Like I say, word of mouth is the most powerful, fastest form of advertising. And you can't control word of mouth. And us humans tend to have connections. And you can stop the internet too, but we still are connected. Each and every one of us has family. Each one of our family has friends. All of our friends are connected, stronger than you can possibly ever imagine. So, Governor, thank you for, allowing some of the little people to film you, but I'd be adding a little bit more filming, and I'd be saying a lot more smarter stuff for me to be believing anything you've got to say, because the world is watching. And if you say nothing, you hide something, we will use our imaginations and come up with even worse things than what is actually the truth. So you can't fight this. You can't fight this. So I suggest you walk in the side of truth, because we know what's true and what's false. And you're bullshitting right now. No matter how nice and polite you look, you're bullshit. Peace out.